Thanks for joining us for City Council Comments. I'm Steve Erickson along with Mayor Jerry Cook. Today we're talking about both our January 3rd and the January 17th City Council meetings. Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's a new year, 2023.
Isn't that something? 2023.
I know, kind of hard to believe, but starting out here, we actually have a couple new faces on the council this year, and also this is the beginning of your third term as mayor, correct? You were sworn in at the first meeting of the year.
Yeah, you're not saying like it's a bad thing, are you?
No, I mean, it's
just
fine.
checking.
It's
Okay.
fine. I know I got you another 4 years for this show, so we're good.
So we had a contested election in Ward 3, and so Pablo Hernandez Jr. went off, and Sean Novak was sworn in as our new Ward 3 council member. And of course, Councilmember Johnson moved on, and he is our new Anoka County attorney. Yeah. So that left an open seat in Ward 5, and Brian Armstrong was elected there. And so he was also sworn in, and we have our full complement of 7, and we're already here. We're doing business.
Really, our first meeting of the year is just an organizational meeting, something you have to do every year, but some of the same tasks each year.
Right, you have to determine who's going to be responsible for taking the minutes. Yeah. And it's the same company we've had for years, just little price adjustments here and there. Yep. You decide the order of the meeting, the rules of the meeting, and you do organizational meetings like who's going to be your official newspaper, official depositories, things like that. Board and commission appointments. If there's any of the chairs of the commissions or any reappointments, those are done. Also, the city council acts as representatives on various boards and committees. So that's a determination of who's going to serve on the Joint Law Enforcement Commission or Enforcement Council, Twin City Gateway, the various community ed, fire. I think there's like 10 various committees that the council serves on. Yeah. So we also determine who serves where. Yeah,
a lot more than you realize, but a lot of these groups are needed to kind of move business along and in this region.
Right. Yeah, and it's important that the council is involved and has a hand in them because so much of it matters so much to Coon Rapids.
Yeah. All right. We did sort of have one real item on the agenda. Council did approve workers' compensation coverage. The other item we wanted to talk about was a resolution considering 2022-2023 insurance renewals and also establishing limited cleanup and property damage protection for sewer backups. Yeah. We've talked about this a number of times here, but I think it's always important to mention it. This is something people should check, that they have this coverage on their own homeowner's policy.
Right. Yeah, this is not meant to replace your own homeowner's insurance. And sewer backup is a specific rider you need to actually add to your homeowner's insurance. And what we do is we actually authorize the city to carry the backup coverage, but that only covers up to $10,000. Yeah. And the reason we carry it is because if we don't, we're not even allowed to help. We've had sewer backups. There was a year or two where we didn't carry this, and there was a sewer backup, and often they're caused by like a water main break that then forces its way into the sewer and then backs the sewer up into the home. Yeah. They do all the research and they see if the city is negligent, but we're not, because we're doing all of the maintenance. We're doing everything we can that reasonably protects our water mains and our sewer lines. So we're not negligent. Mm-hmm. So we can't even offer any compensation. Yeah. But this insurance allows us to pay the compensation, whether negligence isn't even a factor.
Yeah, it's
now.
no fault coverage.
Basically, it's no fault coverage, right? Yeah. However, it's $10,000, up to $10,000, and that does not replace your own rider. If you have a finished lower level, and something happens where your mainline sewer backs up into your home, it's tens of thousands of dollars. You're cutting off sheetrock from 4 feet down, and you're replacing carpeting and whatever that touches.
Yeah. Yes. Not good.
And we had a situation last year over in North Thompson Park where we had a water main break the water forced its way into the sewer and backed up sewage into probably 20 of our homes over there, 20 residences. And thankfully, we were able to help them out with this coverage, plus hopefully they had their own insurance.
Yeah. Like you said, check it out with your own insurance company. I feel like mine did actually used to include some coverage, and then it became sort of a separate thing within the last couple of years, I imagine, as insurance rates go up. So everybody should check their own individual policy.
Yep. Yeah, and it seems like it's not a very expensive rider.
No.
So
No, pretty cheap. All right. That is pretty much all we had to talk about at our first meeting of the year. Again, like we said, more of an organizational meeting, kicking things off. Moving forward now to our...
No, hang on.
Did I do something else?
It's not you, it's me.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to share that we did have a special guest that night, a visitor, and that's our brand new Anoka County Sheriff, Brad Wise, who was, of course, the retired police chief from Coon Rapids, came back, and his first official act as sheriff, the first city that he visited was our city council meeting, and kind of gave us a nice little introduction to the sheriff's office, and it was very nice.
All right. Well, he better come back here first. All right. I couldn't forget about Brad. Sorry about that. All right. Now we can move forward to our Tuesday, January 17th City Council meeting. This was a bit longer of an agenda. We had some sort of real items on here to talk about. One of the first, though, pretty cool, a resolution accepting a donation for a park bench. These are always nice to see. Yeah.
This was a memorial for Sharon Rothenberger. The family of Sharon Rothenberger provided this, and normally they'll tell us where the park bench is going to go, but apparently Sharon liked to walk on our trails, so they're still determining where best to place that bench. Okay. But it's a nice memorial. It's a nice way to remember Sharon, and it's a nice thing.
All right. Anybody can do this. They just need to get in touch with the city if they want to have a memorial bench.
Yeah, and it's actually, I think it's $700 or $750, which is way less than doing it at the state fair. Yeah. It's $2,500 to do a park bench at the state fair.
Yeah.
So it's a good value too.
Yeah. Then it's in their hometown. So. All right. So more to come on where that will be located. Council adopted a resolution approving a sustainability commission appointment.
Yep. Yeah, and we run on our commissions. We really count on our commissions. And this is our Sustainability Commission. And Steve Sweeney met with their Sustainability Commission. They thought he was a good fit. They said, yes, we encourage you. So we accepted his application and appointed him to the Sustainability Commission.
All right. And I feel like a broken record sometimes on this program, but we talk about this as well. If you are interested in serving on a commission, just go to the city's website. There is an application there. You can learn about all the commissions, but there's an interest application that you can fill out and kind of check off which commissions you're interested in serving. Mm-hmm. Then if a commission opening comes up, they'll get in contact with you.
Yeah, it's critical, especially when you've got, like our Planning Commission or our Board of Adjustment and Appeals, or these ones that really have these real serious interactions with our residents and our businesses. When there becomes a vacancy, we really need to get that one filled right away. Like our Arts Commission, they do a lot of great work. It's a great commission that they run with. There's almost always vacancies on there. Yep. And so we encourage, just like you said, we encourage people to get signed up and figure out what they'd like to do and get involved.
A good way to give back to your community.
Yeah.
All right. Moving forward, Council considered a lot split. This was for Michael Nelson. This is over by the Crooked Lake Library, correct?
Yeah, and it's Nielsen.
Nielsen.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said Nelson.
Yeah, that's
Nielsen, you are right.
So they've owned the home, gosh, they've owned the home, I think, since the 80s.
Okay.
And there's a corner of the lot that just seems like it should have been part of their lot. Yeah. There's some shrubs there, and but it's not. The lot for the Anoka County Library kind of cuts into their property in this weird angle of the same way. So 6.5 years ago, I was over taking pictures of it. They had talked to me about it, and they had already kind of started jumping through some hoops, and they've done yeoman work, and they've gotten the county to agree. That's gone through in front of our Planning Commission, and now they've just got to do a little purchase agreement with the county, and then they can make that part of their lot, and then their lot will be a rectangle, and the library will be a rectangle, and it's a very orderly development as it should have been in the first place.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the library kind of all of a sudden jutted off at a weird angle and cut across their front yard over near their driveway. It was just weird. I don't know why it got approved that way in the first place.
And I suppose it's good to have that all done in case you ever want to sell your property or something.
I think it's more important if you ever want to actually do a fence or something.
Okay.
You know, and I think it just gives them some peace of mind that they're going to be able to maintain that privacy, because that whole wall of the library is glass windows.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of, all of a sudden you're kind of like in a goldfish bowl there. So it's nice for them to be able to have some privacy there.
Yeah. Okay. Moving forward, council accepted plans and specifications. This is for a mill and overlay project for Robinson Drive, Coon, Creek Meadow Drive, and 114th Avenue.
Yep. These mill and overlays are really a great value. We have found this, we've used this in a number of places. And when the road is starting to get bad, but it's thick enough to do a mill and overlay, it's a very affordable option. And all of a sudden we've got a new road bed. Yeah. Lasts about half as long as a complete reconstruction, but only costs about, 10% of what a complete reconstruction is. So it's a very good value. And so we're looking forward to bids on that.
All right. So it'll be the length of Robinson Drive, it looks like, Creek Meadow Drive and 114th.
Right, yeah, you look at the map and it's like from Hanson, Robinson Drive over to,
Egret?
Yeah,
or not that far?
No, we did the mill and overlay from 111th to Egret last year.
Okay.
So now this one I think goes to 111th.
Yeah.
And then over the bridge towards the industrial park there.
Yep.
And then 114th.
Is over there. Okay. So this is sort of like the second phase, in a way, on the Robinson Drive.
Yeah, kind of the second leg.
It completes Robinson Drive then.
Yeah.
All right. Moving forward, more construction projects. One is a resolution supporting a Corridors of Commerce project funding application. This is for the 610 East River Road project we're trying to get going.
Yep. Everybody that lives in Coon Rapids knows that when 610 opened, it didn't go east. It only went west. And so that was like, 87, 88, something like that. And so all of our connections to 610 are to do with westbound travel. You can go west. If you're coming from the west, you can get off in Coon Rapids.
Was this a funding thing at the time? Why they didn't?
No, at the time it didn't go anywhere. It didn't go east.
Okay.
It didn't. So
there was nothing to go east to.
Right.
Okay.
The road just ended.
Okay.
Well, so then they made the connection over to Highway 10. Yeah. So now we've got this. Basically, it was the construction of Highway 10, the new Highway 10 there. Because it used to be you went down. Now it's Mounds View Boulevard.
Okay.
So now they added Highway 10 up there. Now 610 connects over there. If you're in Coon Rapids and you want to go east, though, you've got to go up to Foley and make all the wind arounds to get onto 610 going east. Yep. It's not reasonable to have a major freeway running through your town and not be able to get on it and go both directions. Yeah. So we've been working with MnDOT. We've actually done some property acquisitions. Mm-hmm. MnDOT has finally signed off on this is a MnDOT approved access. Yep. And now we've gotten some money for engineering, and now we're trying to get enough money to finish it, to actually do the development.
All right. So this Corridors of Commerce, I think is what it's called, is through MnDOT state funding to try to get this. A lot of cities are going for different projects with this funding money.
Right.
So we're looking for about 28.3 or 4 million, it looks like, for this project.
Okay.
According to their website.
All right. Yeah, I was thinking it was more, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know we're also trying to find some federal funding for this as well.
Yeah.
So this is our Corridor of Commerce project, and each community is really just allowed one right now.
Yeah. So I thought this was interesting. So Andover is signing on to do our Highway 10, right?
Yeah. So we've been working for years and years and years trying to get the third lanes on Highway 10.
Yep.
To where all of a sudden they changed the language. They said, well, we're not doing any more expansions, so you can't call it that. So now it's the Congestion Mitigation Project. It looks the same.
Whatever you call it, the funding need is still the same, right?
The funding need is still the same. And Andover didn't have any other corridors of commerce requests. Yeah. So Andover agreed to carry the water for this one. And realistically, it benefits them as much as Coon Rapids because it's the Andover residents and in all places north that get off on Round Lake Boulevard and go north. And that's what this is trying to do. Right now, our third lanes end at Hanson, and we're just trying to get them from Hanson beyond Main Street over to Round Lake Boulevard. And the other bridges, the bridge at Main Street and the bridge over Northdale were both built to accommodate the additional lanes and just get it over to Round Lake Boulevard. And that's going to be life-changing for the folks north.
All right. So that's a $28.1 million request. Lots of requests from, as you imagine, different cities, counties.
Yep.
So we'll know more on that. They're supposed to announce those award winners around May 1st.
Okay.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
Hopefully it happens. Because, without funding, certainly for the East River Road, that project can't move forward.
Nope.
So.
Nope. And for anybody that was on board early with that project, I'm sure they recognize we've completely reconstructed that.
Yeah.
The original plan was kind of a traditional loops, but it took out too much of the neighborhood. It was too invasive on our neighborhood, and it was the neighbors really pushed back.
Yep.
And to the county's, to the engineers' credit, they listened and they changed everything, and it's really not even going to impact most of the homes, or the homes on the riverside of East River Road won't really be impacted, and we're just going to lose the twin homes right on Foley. So.
Okay. And because they came up with this northeast loop sort of
unique
design.
Yeah, it's a full loop because the elevation difference between 610 and East River Road is so great. You can't just do a slip ramp.
Yeah.
You've got to actually do a full loop to get them slow down to get the elevation change.
All right. Well, again, hopefully we can secure money and get that project moving forward. Council considered a resolution accepting plans and specifications. This is for the Safe Routes to School program. Some improvements being planned for this summer, kind of in front of Coon Rapids High School to make that area safer.
This has been another long time coming. Yeah. We've worked on a couple different proposals on this. And this one now really just seems like a very reasonable fix. It's not going to make folks happy that wanted a pedestrian crossing or a tunnel, because this is still going to impede their drive to work in the morning if they choose to go down Northdale when the school is starting, because the road is still going to be blocked off for kids to cross. But what their plan is to relocate the existing school zone speed limit signs, and they're adding a dynamic speed display sign, and those actually are nice. They get your attention. If you're going fast, that light starts blinking. Wren Street curb ramp upgrades and a flasher system crosswalk installation, relocation and upgrade of the existing mid-block crosswalk flasher system with installation of curb bump outs to reduce the crosswalk length, and then an East School driveway parking lot curb ramp removal. The biggest change I think that's going to impact the safety of getting across there is the dynamic lighting and the curb bump outs. So now this has a calming effect. It causes cars to slow down when the road comes in like that, and it's a smaller piece of lane that you have to cross now as a pedestrian. It used to be you had to cross all the way from curb to curb, or currently, and when this is finished, you'll have a narrow area of road to cross. So,
and like you said, they're relocating the existing crosswalk to align with the new main entrance at the high school.
Correct.
That will actually then go straight across pretty much to the stadium. So that'll be more aligned. Yeah. And then again, I know pedestrians are going to be able to push a button as well to get across is the plan. So to activate those lights. So this work is supposed to happen this summer, if I understand correctly.
I hope so.
All right. I imagine they'll get going once school's out, and maybe even have some stuff to do right before then to prep for the project. All right, Council considered a resolution accepting plans and specifications. Went out for bids here for the Foley Boulevard Water Tower. This is going to be a new water tower that's going to be built kind of in the southern part of the city, correct?
So that's what we're waiting to find out. Let's see how much it costs. The last estimate, I think, was about $6 million. I think it was $6 million. It was a lot. But we need to have a current bid. We have property that, ironically, or not ironically, but coincidentally, we had picked up for what we thought was going to be the 610 interchange. We originally picked up this parcel of property on the Coon Rapids Boulevard in Foley, thinking that that would be where we would have our 610 connection. MnDOT wouldn't sign off on it. Well, we own that parcel, and now a portion of that will be cut off for the water tower, if we put the water tower there.
Okay.
So yes, so now this is going out for accepting plans and specifications so that we can get current bids to find out what it's going to cost.
Okay.
That will determine if we're going to move forward.
All right. And a study was done on this, right? The need for this and the for firefighting and all of that.
It's yeah. So currently there's a water tower on Foley and Northdale. It's a 500,000 gallon water tower that was originally put in about 15 feet too high. So you can't fill it more than half full or it overfills our other water towers. Okay. So you got about 250,000 gallon capacity there currently. Okay. It needs to be updated, needs maintenance.
Yep.
So what we're considering is building a 1 million gallon one down closer to the industrial park, still on Foley, but down closer to the industrial park where there's a lot of water consumption. And if there's ever a major fire, they would have the capacity to fight an industrial fire down there.
Okay. So more to come on this, it sounds like. Bids will be coming back here in the next month or so, and we'll know more then.
We'll know more.
All right. Council considered a resolution amending the capital equipment fund budget. This was an interesting one. We spent a lot more time on this than I would have thought.
Well, it's over $23,000, but it was $184,000 sidewalk clearing tractor we approved, or something around in that ballpark.
This was approved last year, correct? At a certain price.
Yep. At 180,000, 180 whatever thousand it was, and then we've been waiting, and they said, "Oh, we're not going to be able to get it to you this year. It's going to be next year." All right. So we moved the money from that budget to the 23 budget. Yeah. So we're still ready for it. And then and they said, "Okay, yeah, we should have it by February for you." And oh, by the way, they cost $23,000 more now. What? And basically they're in a situation where it's like take it or leave it. Either take it at $23,000 more, or we're just going to sell it to the next person on the list that is going to pay the $23,000 more.
Yeah.
So.
And this is through a state contract, right?
Yeah.
So it's not really going out for bids, or it's just like, here is the price at this time.
Yeah.
But because of the delay, it got more expensive.
Yep. Yeah. And everything has gone up. Yeah. If you've bought a car or anything, know how much those have gone up. This is like that.
Yeah, it's just because here's our purchase order, here's our, okay, we'll take it at that price.
Yeah.
But then to come back and say, well, yeah, now it's 23. There does seem to be a little bit of kind of issue with that.
It
doesn't
feels wrong. It doesn't feel right.
Right.
And then I think that was kind of where we were stuck, was on the principle of it.
Yeah.
Everybody agreed we need it. Yeah. We've got five sidewalk routes. One of our machines is down right now.
Yeah.
This will be our fifth one.
Yeah.
It's to replace the one that's down. Everybody knows we need it. It was just like, it just doesn't, it seems like we're rewarding bad behavior.
Yeah.
But
then the thing, you can make a point and then not do this, but then if you still need this a year from now, it's probably going to be more than the $23,000 difference.
Exactly. It's certainly not going to be less.
Yeah.
So there's no savings in backing out on principle. Just
So just kind of had to do it, yeah.
Yep.
And we really needed it this winter with all the snow that we've had.
Yeah.
So
we've been keeping them moving.
All right. Well, hopefully it comes in sooner than later. All right. Council considered water utility rate changes. This is something you guys have actually been discussing for many months now. You've had some work sessions on the topic, and kind of a new structure is being put into place sort of to keep this fund good for the long term.
Yeah, so our water utility fund is an enterprise fund. Yeah. It has to support itself. Yeah. We hired Ellers to do a deep dive, and as they look into the projects that we are going to need to do, such as a new water tower, such as replacing all of the water lines, or the water mains in North and South Thompson Park, millions and millions of dollars of investments that are needed, and it's not a thing where we have fallen behind on our infrastructure investments. previous councils, current council, previous staff, current staff. In Coon Rapids, everybody has always been focused on keeping our infrastructure up to date, keeping it in good shape. And where we're at is, in order to maintain that, we're going to end up having to do millions of dollars investments. It was necessary. And typically we would have kicked this out another quarter, but because of the need, we needed to get it out with the current water bills so that we can get the price increase in early. And it's a tough call. It's always tough to raise the price on things, but it would be irresponsible to not take action. It would be irresponsible to leave us fiscally in trouble for all of the infrastructure needs we have.
Yeah, it didn't sound like anybody wants to do it, but it sounds like it's a required thing to keep things moving forward. I believe that the numbers that were given to us that night on the average winter quarter residential bill would see about a $5 increase in the winter quarter, and then the average summer bill for a residential customer would see about a $12 a quarter increase.
In all based on usage.
Yeah.
They're talking averages. The more water you use, the more you're going to be impacted by this, because the rates, not only the rates are going up, where the rates shift. It used to be, and I don't remember now.
20 was the tier 1 or tier 2 started at 20,000 gallons.
Okay, and then that's now 15,000, and the next one I think was 40,000. That's now 25,000 or something, or
it's higher than that. It was like 80. I think it's 45 now.
Okay,
for residential.
So so those tiers have slid. So if you are a big water user, you are going to be more impacted.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. And this also doesn't just affect residential, commercial, industrial. All of them are going to be paying more. Correct.
Yep. Across the board, and that was probably what took us the most time, was figuring out the most fair way to do this.
Right.
Because even the smallest water users still have to have all of the same infrastructure. We still have to have all the same infrastructure to support that small user as we do a big user. So we had to build in some increased fixed costs to kind of make it make sense. And hopefully people will find it fair. That's what we were going for. But we definitely needed to increase rates.
All right. And the new rates start May 1st with that billing cycle. So look for more information. There'll be inserts in your water bill kind of explaining all of this. It's really hard to do on TV because there's so many numbers. And there'll be more information on the city's website again too, I believe, starting in February. So look for that.
And I know within our city council packet was the whole Eller's water study.
Yes.
And I'm sure if folks are really interested, they can look in there, and everything is transparent.
Yep.
Here's our needs. Here's how we figured out how to pay for it.
Yeah, and there were some comparisons to other cities and all of that as well. So. All right, moving forward, council considered a resolution establishing Bunker Hill's golf course fees and charges, some changes for this year, correct?
Yeah. So Tim Anderson, our golf pro up there, or not our golf pro, but our director of golf, who was in charge of the everything up there, he came forward and he's just got his 2023 rates.
Yep.
And they do a lot of research. They check all kinds of different golf courses to make sure they're competitive. The good news is golf has never been as popular as it is right now. Yeah. But the cost of everything has gone up, from fertilizer to seed to labor to everything is costing so much more money now.
Water.
That they needed to adjust their fees up a little bit, and they don't take that lightly, and they don't do it more than they need to, and it just seemed like a very responsible. And the fees, as you look and compare them to other courses, are still a very good value up there.
Yeah, a great course up there. So Tim does a wonderful job with it and all his staff.
Yep, and just like the water sewer, it's an enterprise fund.
Yeah,
they need to be self-sustaining. So, I mean, our Coon Rapids taxpayers don't want to be paying for people to golf.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. Well, we're quickly running out of time here, but
Okay.
want to quickly mention the newsletter, right? You got
Yes.
one of these.
Yep.
All the information we were going to talk about is in here, but Snowflake Days kicks off on February 4th. The winter concert series, which started earlier this month. There's 3 more concerts. That's in here as well, along with a lot of other information. This was just mailed out at the beginning of January to all homes and businesses, so check it out.
Yeah, don't throw that away without going through and pulling the dates and pulling the information out, because there's so much in there.
Yeah, great. All right. Well, thanks for coming in today and talking to us. We appreciate it. Thank you at home for watching, and we'll see you back here again after our 2 meetings in February.